Clap along if you feel like a word. All right, welcome to today. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to all of you joining me live. My name is Joe McCullough, and today we're going to be talking about the 21-day no complaint experiment. This is an experiment that I do with my students every single day, not every single day, every semester. And the goal is to help my students become more aware of how often people complain, how often they complain, and start complaining less, which is going to have positive effects on your overall thinking. The less you complain outwardly. Benson 96, R-Ton, welcome. So before I actually explain the experiment, let me take a minute and welcome those people joining the broadcast. So if this is your first time joining me, please type in new in your name so I can welcome you. I love seeing new people, and I would love to welcome you by name. Anybody new? DJ8418, welcome to today's scope. So while people are joining, let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Joe McCullough. I am the physics program chair at Cabrillo College in Santa Cruz, California, and I made a one-year commitment to get on Periscope every single day and share daily doses. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. Welcome from Detroit. I made a one-year commitment to get on Periscope every single day for a year and share daily doses of dopamine through education, entertainment, and inspiration. And today is all about inspiration. We are talking about the 21-day no complaint experiment. This is an extra credit assignment I give to my students every single semester for the last, I think, 5 semesters. And it's an outstanding experiment that I highly recommend everybody try. I'll give you a quick little overview and then we'll talk about the experiment in more detail. So let me just say that this is not created by me. This is created by Will Bowen. He was a Kansas City minister and he wanted to get his parishioners to basically be more aware of the power of their thoughts and start to change their life for the better by complaining less. ECAL415, welcome so much. So we are talking about the 21-day no complaint experiment. I am starting the experiment. I started it about a week ago, but I've had a pretty tough week. So today is day 1. Wayne, welcome so much. I caught your previous scope. I think you're doing awesome work. Congratulations. So we're talking about the 21-day no complaint experiment. Hey bro, welcome. And I would love to I would love to welcome everybody and invite you to try this experiment with me. So let me just say, I did not create this experiment. If this is something you want to read more about, go to a complaintfreeworld.org. Again, it's a complaintfreeworld.org, and this is created by Will Bowen. And the goal, big picture, go 21 straight days without a single complaint about anything. And let me say, this is an experiment that can literally change your life because the words that we speak, the words that we think, have a tremendous amount of power, and we complain in general a lot. Super hard, but so beneficial, yes. And if anybody followed me yesterday, let me just tell you some background. I did this experiment for the first time about 2.5 years ago. The goal is to go 21 straight days without a single complaint. And the way you do this is you wear a bracelet on either wrist. And anytime you complain, you switch wrists. And the goal is to go 21 straight days without switching wrists, without complaining about anything. First time I did this experiment, I went 9 straight months wearing the bracelet. I never made it past day 9 without complaining. So again, if you want some background, Complaint Free World, it's 21-day no complaint experiment. It was created by Will Bowen, and the website is at complaintfreeworld.org. So let me give you a little bit of background. Whatever you track, you can control. Exactly. If you cannot measure it, you can't really control it. And most people are completely unaware of how often they complain. And it's been said, people complain between 15 and 30 times a day. And I think it's probably more than that. Having done this experiment several times, you become hyper aware of how often people complain and how often you complain. And it's actually surprising once you start to track it. So Let me give you a little bit of background from Will Bowen. Again, what I'm kind of doing is summarizing his book, A Complaint-Free World, telling you about my experience and how I use this with my students. So according to Will Bowen, there's 5 reasons that people generally complain, and he uses those 5 reasons as an acronym called GRIPE, G-R-I-P-E. So the first reason people complain is, hey, Nikki Butterfly, or Buttfly, welcome. First reason people complain is to get attention. People complain so that please notice me. You might ask, well, how was your day? Somebody goes off on a huge amount of complaining. What they're really saying is, please notice me. So the first reason people complain is to get attention. Second reason people complain is to remove responsibility, basically to put the blame on somebody else. Oftentimes we complain so that we are no longer the reason for anything that we didn't accomplish. We're putting the blame on somebody else. Come on, guys, let's give some hearts. Thank you, Wayne. Thank you so much. Are you lecturing? I do realize that I'm in teacher mode and I'm trying to get these broadcasts, these scopes to be more interactive, but I definitely have material I want to share. I do get into lecturing mode. So if there's a question you have, throw it out there. I'll try and pause and definitely complain. What if the huge complainer, it's your spouse? Great question, Wayne. The answer is this experiment can only be done for yourself. You cannot control whether or not other people complain. The only thing you can control is what comes out of your mouth, the things that you say. So 2 reasons so far why people complain is get attention. Please, please, please notice me. 2, remove responsibility. Put the blame on somebody else. 3, third reason people complain is to inspire envy. I'm bragging that I'm not like them, and I'm not like that. I notice I do this a lot. I have road rage. I complain a lot about how other people drive, and what I'm really doing is saying, hey, I'm not like that other person. I don't drive like that. Inspire envy. Please, please, please notice me. 3 or 4, power. You are complaining to build a case against somebody else. This happens a lot, especially if you're complaining about somebody. What you're doing is sort of building a case so that, you can actually complain to build a case against somebody else. And then the last one, and this I see a lot with my students, is excuse poor performance. Hey, it's not my fault. I couldn't get to class on time because XYZ. You're complaining to excuse poor performance. Hey, Joe, I mentioned other WGST scopers. Oh, yes, World Greatest Speaker Training. If anybody's a speaker and really wants to figure out how to make the most of that, check out World's Greatest Speaker Training with Brendan Bouchard. I love it. So let me tell you how I did this experiment. So when I first did it, I didn't have these bracelets. Let me just say you can get these bracelets at acomplaintfreeworld.org. Where's my little notes? Acomplaintfreeworld.org. I'm not associated with the website at all. It was created by Will Bowen. But let me do say I met Will Bowen at the World's Greatest Speaker Training. He's a great, great guy. I really respect and admire him. And this is a non-profit organization. If you want these bracelets, they are 10 for $10, and that includes shipping and handling and tax. I buy these bracelets every single year. I think I've given out maybe 500 or 600 of them. I give it as an extra credit assignment to my students, and I ask them to do the experiment for 30 days. They don't have to go 21 straight days without complaining, but I ask them to try it for 30 straight days and then write a 1-page essay on the experience. And let me say, one of my favorite parts of teaching is reading the essays they write on their extra credit assignments. I give 3 of them, and I love hearing students and listening to reading what they have to say about how this experience has changed their life. And let me say that I have been complaining a lot recently. It's been a busy, busy few weeks for me. I've had lots of issues with internet and technology. I found myself complaining more than I was comfortable with. So I am now, hey, Costa Rica, welcome. I am now doing this experiment and I'm putting it out there for everyone in Periscope. Anybody who follows me, you will see me wearing this bracelet every single day for the next however long it takes for me to go 21 straight days. I heard a version of this a while back where you were using a rubber band and snap it if you complain. Yes. So when I first started this, I read about it, and it was a really tough place in my life. I didn't have the bracelets yet, so I used a rubber band. And I decided that every single time I complained, not only would I switch wrists, but I took the rubber band and I snapped it, so I had a little bit of pain associated with the complaint. I think it helped a little bit. But obviously I didn't complete 21 straight days without complaining, so who knows. Okay, let me tell you how I decided to define a complaint. So the overall big picture is you wear something on your wrist. It could be a bracelet, it could be a rubber band. The goal is to go 21 straight days without complaining. If you do complain, then what you do is you take the rubber band or the bracelet and you switch wrists, and then you start back at day 0. When you can go 21 straight days without switching wrists, without complaining, bam, you've done it. Now, why 21 days? Because the theory used to be that it takes 21 straight days to form a habit. New research is showing that depending upon the habit, it can actually take more like 45 to 60 days. But neuroscience with rubber bands, yes, yes. Hey, Bobber, welcome so much. I've been checking out your scopes. I wish I'd been following you sooner. I loved the moonscape, and I loved the space bear. Okay, so let me tell you how it's great training to help you level up. It is. And it's really hard. I've done this experiment seriously 2 or 3 times. I've never gone 21 straight days, but I'm putting it out there now for everyone watching on Periscope. I will wear this bracelet for the next 10 years if I don't go 21 straight days without complaining. Thank you, Official Beats, for inviting your followers. So, what is a complaint? Let me tell you how I decided to define a complaint. The same way Tim Ferriss did on his blog. If anybody doesn't know Tim Ferriss, he wrote a great book called The 4-Hour Work Week. He also wrote a book, 4-Hour Chef, 4-Hour Body. Does a mental complaint count, or is it only your speech? Wayne, great question. If you can go 21 days without an internal mental complaint, you are Buddha, and I will start to follow you. For this experiment is only words that you speak out loud. Now, one of the great things about this experiment is the less you complain externally, the less you complain internally. So the less you start to vocalize any complaints, it'll start to affect your overall thinking, and the less you'll start to complain internally. So, what is a complaint? I decided to define a complaint the same way Tim Ferriss does, and here's what it is. 1, it is describing an event or person without indicating next steps to fix the problem. Again, describing an event or person. I have to read this because my eyes are going. Describing an event or person negatively without indicating next steps to fix the problems. A lot of spectators on the scope. Keep the hearts going. Thank you. And I would love to have a bunch of people doing this experiment, and we could check in every few weeks, because I don't think that it's reasonable to think you're going to do this experiment in a month. It's been said most people take 4 to 10 months to go 21 straight days without complaining. The longest I've done this experiment is 9 straight months. Never made it past day 9. And I'll tell you what some of my hang-ups were. And for me, it's traffic. I'm a big road rager, or at least I used to be, trying to get better. Okay, so how did I define a complaint? 1, describing an event or person negatively without indicating next steps to fix this problem. And this is the definition I got off of Tim Ferriss's blog, and I love this definition because the goal is to make you more solutions-oriented. Meaning, you can say something negatively about a person or event as long as you're describing how you're going to fix the problem. So for me, I hate traffic. My commute to school is only 10 minutes, but I hit every light every single time. So an example of this working definition, if somebody asked me, how was traffic today? And I said traffic sucked, which I have said many times in the past, that is a complaint. On the other hand, if I said traffic was awful this morning, so I'm going to leave 10 minutes earlier, that would not be a complaint. So I love this working definition again. Describing an event or person without indicating next steps to fix the problem. So it is okay to say a negative thing about a person or event as long as you're describing how you're going to fix the problem. He did meet him there. Yes, I did meet Will Bowen, B-O-W-E-N, at World's Greatest Speaker Training. I spoke to him for a while. He was great. He was really, really inspirational. I love him. So, first definition of a complaint is describing an event or person without indicating next steps to fix the problem. I didn't have too much of a problem with this. Here's the thing that really killed me is, again, I got this from Tim Ferriss's blog, and it is using a 4-letter word or other common profanities to express exasperation. Oh, yes, so you had dinner with him. Awesome, Lisa. I wish I actually had time to have lunch with him. I really wanted to buy him lunch, but it was a really busy training and I never got that opportunity. So what killed me is using 4-letter words or common profanities as exasperation. Like I said, I have major road rage. I hate traffic. My commute to school is only about 10 minutes, but literally I hit every light every single time. And what I found myself is that I would start I would say something, an exasperation, without even realizing I was saying it. So I'm sitting at a light, I go to the next light, I hit the next light, and I'm saying something like darn or something a bit more profane without even realizing it. So the goal of this experiment is to become more solution-oriented and also to start monitoring the way we think, the way we sound, the way we talk, because words have tremendous amount of power. Sounds like good. Should ride a bike to campus. Do you know, I really should ride a bike to campus, and I've considered this, but I always have a ton of papers, a ton of books. Actually, you know what? That's just an excuse. I should ride a bike to campus, and the reason I haven't is because I haven't. I could do it. I could get a trailer or something like that. I should do it. Thank you, Wayne, for suggesting that's something I know I should be doing. So here's the experiment again, if you want to do it. Get a bracelet, get a rubber band, something that you wear on your wrist. It helps to wear something because it's a cognitive anchor. Every time I see the bracelet, it reminds me not to complain. And anytime you do complain, what you do is you switch wrists from one to the other. You start back at day 0, and then you go as long as you can. The goal is 21 straight days without a single complaint about anything. It's extremely challenging. People complain all the time. I complain a lot. And as I do this experiment, I start to monitor my own thinking. And the great thing is, the less you complain externally, the less you're going to complain internally. It can be any color. It can be a rubber band. But I'm going to do this broadcast one more time on Thursday and sort of recap everything. And I've got about 20 bracelets that I'm willing to send to anybody that wants to join me on this experiment. So again, if that sounds like something you'd love to do, follow me. On Thursday, I'll be doing a scope, and I'll tell you exactly how you can get one of these bracelets. If you can't follow me or you don't want to, check out complaintfreeworld.org. It's 10 bracelets for $10. There's no shipping, there's no taxes, so basically you're paying $10 for 10 bracelets. What I do is every semester for the last, I think 2 years, maybe 5 semesters, I give this as one of 3 extra credit assignments. I give my students a bracelet if they want to participate, and I ask them to do it for 30 straight days. It doesn't matter if they reach 21 days without complaining, but just doing it for 30 days and then write a 1-page essay on the experience. And some of my favorite moments as a teacher is actually reading the essays that my students write. It can literally change your life. Would love for my entire department to do it. We'll introduce it at next month's staff meeting. Wayne, awesome. Check it out at complaintfreeworld.org. I think it's a really great deal, 10 bracelets for $10. I think I personally have given out 300 or 400 bracelets, and what's kind of cool is I just did this as an extra credit assignment in both my classes. So I see a sea of purple bracelets when I look out on my students, and they're starting to monitor each other and monitor myself. So at one point yesterday, somebody asked me a question and I complained, and I had 5 or 6 students call me on it right away. They are on the ball. So again, I don't want this to be too long. I'm trying to keep these scopes short. We're talking about 21-day no complaint experiment. I did not create it. It was created by Will Bowen, that was a minister in Kansas City, and he wanted to help his congregation become more solution-oriented and become aware of the power of speech, the power of the words that they use, the power of the thoughts that they think. And the goal is to become less complaining, to become more positive. You could partner with him to take it to a new market. You know what? I actually talked to him about all of the students that I've given this to, and him and I might do a blab or some kind of Skype that I might actually do on Periscope. But he's a phenomenal guy. I love him. I think that he has a great, great message. Case studies galore. Yes. So before I leave today's scope, I want to pause, give you one quick little recap, and then see if there's any questions. So again, I'm talking about the 21-day no complaint experiment. The goal, go 21 solid days without complaining about a single thing. The way it works is wear something on your wrist, ideally a rubber band or bracelet, and anytime you complain, you switch wrists from one to the other. You start back at day 0. For me, it's day 1 again. I had a really, really tough week. I was doing good yesterday, but I complained right at the end of the night, so I'm back at day 0. You could take this into universities and schools. Yes, and in fact, I have students that aren't even my students asking me for a bracelet because they heard about it from somebody in my class that's doing the experiment and got a lot out of it. So again, if you like this, I'm going to be doing this again on Thursday. I have about 20-25 bracelets that I will send to anybody free of charge. I would love to have a bunch of people on Periscope doing this, and then we could check in every couple months, or every month or so. And for me, the way I decided to define a complaint, and for you it's personal, but for me it was describing an event or person negatively without indicating next steps to fix the problem. I mean as a business. Oh, I didn't even think about that. So, describing an event or person negatively without indicating next steps to fix the problem. So it's okay to say something negative as long as you're indicating next steps to fix the problem. What this is training your brain to do is to never just complain without doing something to resolve the complaint. You're trying to become more solutions oriented, and then for me, the real killer was using 4-letter words or other common profanities to express exasperation. Like I said, I have major road rage. I'm trying to cut down on that, but I found myself using profanities a lot whenever I was driving, trying to cut down on that. Can you repeat about the 4-letter? Yes. So this is personal. I used Tim Ferriss's definition of complaint. Not only was it describing a person or event without talking about next steps to fix the problem, but he also decided to define as a complaint any 4-letter word or common profanity used to express exasperation. So, I might be driving and suddenly I hit a light again and suddenly I said, "Oh, crap!" I didn't say crap, I said something more profane than that, but I included that as a complaint, and I really got good at not talking negatively about people or events without describing how I could fix the problem. But for me, traffic was a killer. So thank you so much. I'm trying to keep these scopes relatively short. For those of you joining me for the first time, my name is Joe. I'm the physics program chair at Cabrillo College in Santa Cruz, California, and I'm on Periscope every single day sharing daily doses of dopamine through education, entertainment, and inspiration. Today is day 48. I've been at this 48 days in a row, and it has not always been easy, but I made a commitment and I'm sticking to it. So Wednesday, for those of you interested, I'm starting a new series called Ask a Physicist Anything. I'm going to be talking about the universe, how the universe works, And I'm going to be hosting this with an amazing instructor at Cabrillo College, Paul Graham, who's one of the most gifted physics instructors I've ever met. Ask Paul a question and you'll be amazed at the answer. And then on Thursday, I'm going to be reviewing this one more time and giving away about 20 or 25 bracelets for anyone that might be interested in joining this experiment. All right. Any questions before I sign out for the evening? For those of you joining, thank you so much for joining this scope. If you're not following me, please swipe from left to right on an iPhone, straight up on an Android. Hit follow. If there's people you know that would appreciate this experiment and learn from it, please share with your followers. Okay, I'll pause for about 20 seconds. Are there any questions that I can answer? Do you want to join the X Prize forum? Yes, Lisa, I definitely love the X Prize. I don't know that I have anything specific to offer the forum, but yes, invite me and I would love that. Okay, well, my name is Joe. Thank you so much for joining today. If you're just catching this at the end, check out the broadcast. This is a powerful, powerful experiment that can literally change your night overnight. 21-day no complaint experiment. See if you can go 21 solid days without complaining about anything. You will become more aware of the power of the words that we use every single day. You'll become more aware of how often you complain, and you'll become more solutions oriented. Okay, actually, I think I kept this under 20 minutes. Thank you for everyone who's joining today's scope. My name is Joe, and I look forward to catching you in the near future. Again, tomorrow, 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, Ask a Physicist Anything. Anything you want to know about the physics in the universe, check it out. And then on Thursday, I'll be scoping again, recapping the 21-day no complaint experiment and giving away bracelets for anyone that wants to join. Okay, thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and I hope to check you all tomorrow.